So guys, welcome back to our second video of the first chapter we discussed of chapter 1, economics and economy. So in the previous video we had a discussion on the topic of economics, microeconomics and macroeconomics. Now we would be studying the difference between macroeconomics and microeconomics and the further chapter. So the microeconomics, it deals with the economic issues related to small units, individual firms, individual households and individual consumers. So basically this deals with the small units which we discussed in the previous video. If you haven't seen that, you can go and revise it. And macroeconomics, it deals with the economic issue as a whole. This deals with a large quantity of units and it comes in this also. The second point is it is also known as, the microeconomics is also known as the theory of price, because the demand and supply of each and everything depends on the price only. Then the macroeconomics is also known as the theory of income and employment. As in the national economy and as the economy as a whole, we take care of the income and employment of the consumer, and it totally depends on the purchasing power of a consumer, through which he can buy the goods of the producer. Okay, now continue with the third part, which is microeconomics. It also assumes that the macro variables remain constant. So here the macro variables are constant, and here it is the vice versa. In macroeconomics, the micro variables remain constants. So you can take a screenshot of this. Now we would be studying positive economics. It deals with the economic issues related to past, present or future. So it covers all the durations, and the economic issues includes the analysis of economic behavior, the economic behavior of a consumer towards buying a product in a market, and it is also based on facts and figures which are required in an economy and all the things of a consumer. And verifiable truth, that means the verified information which has been verified and which is the truth only. So that information is only represented in positive economics. And the value judgment or the opinions of economists. So the economists always give a research after give the reports of after a research only. So they are like verified and they are like very given by the expertise. So they are covered in positive economics. As I explained that positive economics covers three aspects of past, present and future. So here is an example of positive economics. On the eve of independence, poverty in India affected a large percentage of population. So after the independence, when the Britishers went from India, so we were like, the India became very poor and the poverty rate was increased a lot. Then according to the past facts and figures, we estimated in the present that if the poverty would be 22% of population is below the poverty line. So still the population is under the poverty line, because the population is gradually increasing and increasing. So that is creating a lesser in demand, which is affecting the positive economics. Then the future, how it affects the future. So according to the past and present assumptions by the economist, the future tells that if the population still grows in India, it would exceed more to 22% of poverty line also. So now we would study normative economics, as it is the opposite of positive economics. As in positive economics, we only discuss on the facts and figures which are fixed and fixed by the situation of past, present, or future. But in normative economics, it deals with the which what actually happened and what should happen. So this describes the difference between what is ought to be. So this is main important theme of the normative economics, that is what ought to be. Then in this, different economists have different opinions on the economic problems. Like if there is a economic problem, so every economist and every person has a different perspective on it. So it involves the judgments, like if we are discussing an economic problem, so everyone would have their own judgments, and then this also leads to controversies and debates, and these are non-verifiable because these are not verified, and the positive economies were verified by the economist, but these are not verified. So for example, here we can say an example of Manrega, which is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So this was introduced to give 100 days employment guarantee to the person who are below poverty line. So some person had a perspective that this would solve the problem of unemployment, but some person had a perspective that it would create a lifelong unproductive teenagers which won't work and which would only depend on the employment generation only. So it uses, and the sum also had in perspective that this income which is distributed to the people uses the taxpayers' money, the money which is provided by the taxpayers. So these are provided to the person. And so now we will study the difference between positive and normative economics. As I told you that positive economics deals with the economic problems of past, present and future, and then economist studies the comparison and the results of the past, present and future, and what the changes can be made, and depending on that they create facts and figures on the situation. Normative economics includes different opinion on different economic problems. These are these are not verifiable, so different people have different opinions on an economic problem, as I told you on the Mahatma Gandhi's scheme. Second point, the statements in positive economics are what is, what was, what is for the present, what was for the past, and what would be is for the future. But the statements in the normative is just what ought to be and what is dependent on the situation. Here in positive economics, the facts and figures are verifiable because these are like universal truth and facts and figures which are once said, everyone has to follow that. But in normative economics, facts and figures are non-verifiable because these have different opinions and everyone has a different opinion on a different situation, so these are not verifiable. Positive economics are necessary and are the statements which are of not of truth, because these depends on these are facts and figures which are based properly on the situation, and these are we cannot say that it is the truth or this is the false. These are the perfect statements which we need to follow and follow, or like these are said, just said, not followed. Then normative economics are termed as true or false because every person has a different perspective. So these are not based on the opinions that these are true or this is false. If for me a situation is a true and for another person it is false, so same situation can be true or false in normative economics. So we have covered the topic of economics. As we said that economics deals with the study of economic problems faced in the human life. So now we would study economy. Economy is basically when the people perform economic activities to earn their living, they contribute to the economy. For example, doctors go to the hospital, farmers go to their fields, teachers go to their schools. So these are all contributing to their economy, plus they are earning their living. Now, economy has its nature also. For example, farmers in a village doing their agriculture activities, they are belonging to their agriculture economy or agriculture sector. And we will study the various sectors in detail after this. Now, we have covered the topic of nature. Now, nature depends on the level also. For example, in a same village, there must be a farmer which would be of which would earn a high income, as well as a farmer which would earn a low income. So it depends on the level of the farmer. So nature can be same, but the level depends on the individual. Now we would study the types also. So there are three types of economies: control economy, market economy, and mixed economy. We would study these in detail now. So there are three types of economies: controlled economy, free economy, mixed economy. Now we will study what is controlled economy. Controlled economy basically includes production, consumption, and investment of a good or service. Free economy includes it is also known as market economy, which is controlled by the market forces. The demand and supply and the price which is going on in the market, it totally depends on the free economy. Mixed economy, these are regulated by the government. In controlled economy, it is done for the social welfare. In free economy, it is done for the motive of profit maximization by an individual company or a firm. In mixed economy, it is done for the both motive of profit maximization as well as social welfare. In controlled economy, it is the government decides the price and it is controlled and owned by the government only. In free economy, the people own, or the individual or a group of individual owns the company and decides the prices. These are done, and the mixed economy is controlled by both people and government also. Controlled economy. The public sector dominates the economic activities. In this, the public sector plays a vital role. In free economy, private sector plays a vital role and dominates the economic activities. But in mixed economy, both public and private dominates the economic activities together. So that's it. So we have completed our first chapter of economics, which is economics and economy. Thank you for seeing our video. Please like, share and subscribe.